fishing hooks that are so amazing that maybe this would make up for it. But then you have to consider Guardian of the Ancient King. How much value do I get out of the increased duration? Going with the upgraded frisbee here with the roots. Coming up from Malfurion with the Twilight Dream, personally, would have liked to see that. I do think it would have gained more value, but overall, this has been I would almost say maybe more popular Uther build out of the Asian region. Yeah, and now even adding Holy Shock to that too. So adding to that now can do damage, but you still get the same amount of self-healing from that. Yeah, it does, and then you have the opportunity to be a lot more offensive, getting kind of follow-up to anything that Varian or we see the Dahaka drag. It makes him suddenly kind of like a pseudo-assassin-ish. As L5 gets that rotation, nice root. Typhex, though, is going to be fine as he has not full, but at least two-thirds of the parry build here. Most importantly, though, L5 keeping Red Canids at bay and starting to work on getting that first Web Weaver phase. 21 gems turned into the bank so far, and just by pure rotations alone, better soaking and a couple of kills, L5 has started to get ahead in experience again. Typhex goes in with a very, easy to understand rotation. What I mean by that was it was very apparent that they were going to force that initiation. So if, Red Canids wants to actually catch L5 off guard, I think running in, solo by yourself at the forefront, wait till the rest of the team is there to be able to get the direct follow-up here. Especially on small maps, it makes it that much harder to gank. Vision and predictability of rotations is only dramatically increased. And L5 only managed to get 2 picks, but they're got the turn-in advantage. They've got the 21 over Red Canids. And I'm feeling like they're going to focus on a turn-in the next couple of seconds. Yeah, we can expect L5 to try to snowball early on by getting their first turn-in, taking down a lot of structures. Jongha's been doing an excellent job in the bottom lane of keeping Hamtaro pushed back, so much so that Red Canids have sent Jay Shritta down to try to help out with that lane and alleviate time for Hamtaro to turn in some of his own gems. That does get Red Canids closer to L5, but L5 still maintains that lead. Hook coming out, not anything to land, but Swoy there, as you see with the trust, always going to lay that preemptive root. And it's all about the turn-in. So let's say Red Canids gets a turn-in this circumstances. They have a gray main, decent when it comes to sieging. Li Ming, it's situational. You can't really bank on it, but I wouldn't say it's bad. In the right circumstances, maybe one of the best. And everyone else being that melee, it isn't necessarily at the top of the siege. But on the other side, we have the Leo, great. Tychus, great, especially post-10. Gul'dan, phenomenal. Stitches is actually surprisingly good. Really? Yeah, so not only because of his damage, but because you can't defend. Right. You literally, half of your stuff is just like, if I go there, I get hooked. If I go there, I get hooked. It's like playing into an Immortal, or a Punisher, excuse me. Because if you go in the wrong section too far forward, you get left on, you're the kill target. So all of them, when a Web Weaver phase goes to L5, it will be insane. And when they deal with Red Canids, if Red Canids doesn't get a pick, like right now, it's just they don't have the siege to make up for this. I like seeing that aggression come out, though, for Red Canids. Yeah. They are the ones who have the first Web Weaver, so they can try at least to push back L5 during this time and try to get ahead of them in experience, because even though they have the Web Weavers, it's L5 who are getting closer and closer to heroic abilities, but they're sticking up with them. We also saw our Varian player questioning if maybe he wanted to pick something different at level 7, maybe a second win since there's a lot of minions around, but still getting full parry build. Hook hits Jay Shritta as that gray main still has the ability. Red Canids did end up getting the first Web Weavers, but it was, not too successful. One front wall, and again, that comes down to the siege and the anti-siege of L5. Gilly, I know this doesn't seem like L5 should get a major advantage here, but just compositionally mixed with what we saw last game and that 10 spike, I really feel like suddenly L5 is going to blow this game out of proportion. Absolutely, I totally agree. At this point where we saw last game, things stay close, and then immediately out of nowhere it felt like L5 suddenly had a 3-level lead, and that's just how fast they can make things happen when they have an advantage, and they have one here with their Web Weavers. Red Canids are going to have a little bit more time here in the mid to clear out this Web Weaver because they got their bruisers. They knew that this was an eventuality that L5 did get a turn in, and that slows things down and trying to allow them to get heroic abilities so they can defend. Yeah, and this is exactly what we were talking about. Entomb up on bottom, Hamtaro is going to be fine. SCSC, you can just see a little bit of a trade. Nobody has any potential for a kill, at least not yet, but now Noblesse is here with the hook. Will he get it? You see Jay Shritta, he's fearful. He wants to try and get a dodge. A beautiful cursed bullet puts out the pressure, but this is now going to be a fort going over to L5. What I love about that Entomb too is that it stopped everybody from attacking Taunt. Nacho Jin out, horrified too. Hamtaro is caught from a lot of people, but so is Nacho Jin. Red Canids are collapsing. Hammer of Justice, goodbye, Nacho. They end up getting the kills, but again, the fort lost elsewhere onto the map. So, oh, nice hook. No follow-up for Swoy yet. that root's got to be up. He could have hit him right around that. Swoy, that's the third root I've actually seen. I don't know if it's off cooldown, to be honest, but that's the third time I've seen and expected a root that it just didn't happen. But the burst after that taunt, holy cow, Typhek sets it up, and Jay Shrite goes ahead and spikes it right into the faces of L5.
Knocks it down, and this is an important moment for Red Canids. They lost a fort, but they're turning in all of their gems. They're going to get a second turn, and they did not allow L5 to get 2 in a row. That is monumental. Yeah,
and now it's going to be focusing again, because whenever you do not have the wave clear, you don't have the siege, what do you got to do? Got to get the kills, and it starts there. Taunt!
Hammer!
Tyke is down!
Woo! 2 kills. Staggering those deaths are Red Canids versus L5. Starting to push the wave up, although it gets taken out with a nice Fell Flame. This is what Nacho Jin does best there, but still the team trying to protect this Web Weaver, trying to help it siege. This is the top lane. Red Canids desperately want to bring this fort down to open up that keep later on for another Web Weaver or the big boss.
Typhek moving in. Who's he gonna choose? Noble SB's the target. There goes the Cursed Bullet. Li Ming looking for the reset. Web Weaver getting the damage, but Hamtaro nopes right in behind. The Horrify ends up landing there onto 2, but Hamtaro is totally comfortable. Zhang Han now looking to join. There is the Entomb.
Oh, Divine Shield saves the day for Jay Shrita. He's trying to get out, doesn't have his Cursed Bullet yet. He used it to net that Stitch's kill. Everyone survives. Taunt goes back in.
Baby.
We're not done yet.
Meanwhile, the entire other parts of the map, Web Weavers have been pushing away Red Canids. They don't have the macro, but they sure do have the picks, and miraculously, in the small time frame during the Web Weavers being up where they needed these staggered deaths, they're getting them left and right. There is another one. Zhengha, 100-0, and so fast.
They can't just get all 5 members up, but this is a hook, has a parry, trying to take down Typex. Finally, SCSE starting to siege down.
He needs to die. He actually has the heals. It is literally better for him to die. Please. Oh, to be able to get the heals out. No, Zhengha now. He didn't die fast enough.
Here he goes, here he goes, here he goes.
Oh my goodness, Jay Shrite is going down. The Entomb is going to be a whiff there with the sidestep of Typhek. So, yes, L5 is fighting back here in this game. They do have enough for a turn-in, but they are down 3 forts, which, again, when looking at the siege, I would have said, no way would this game be in this position right now.
All goes down to the staggered deaths of Red Canids and not letting L5 get 2 turn-ins in a row. But now L5 finds their second turn-in phase. They still maintain a lot of their gems so they could make this happen, and they're doing their best to push all the waves out as quickly as they can so the Web Weavers immediately get on top of the forts. Their wave clear is so good to be able to do this.
Yeah, Odin is going to be available in 30 seconds, and that is what makes Tychus a phenomenal sieger. That's why I said it's post-10. Can you really make that happen? So 25 seconds, we can expect a lot. Viera self-divine shielding and going for the taunt afterwards. Beautiful Entomb that's nowhere, my friend. Divine shield's down. The protect is there, and he does not make it out, I don't think.
No, there was no heals. Viera had used both of them. So close, trying to save him. I liked the root attempt to try to keep Viera separated away. He did use the heals, but everything at Red Canids' disposal to keep Typhek alive still wasn't enough from the damage of L5. So L5 bring down the remaining forts of Red Canids and get back ahead in experience.
So now we know with this Web Weaver phase what we have managed to make happen with it. Oh man, I guess L5's not done. Hook lands, Viera's there, the follow-up route, but he's going to survive for now. That's 26 gems onto the ground. With this Jay Shrite move up, you can see he wants them, but L5, they're like, I dare you, buddy.
No way. And should they go up and get those, just let the gems go. It's not the end of the world with this keep. It is the end of it.
The hook is going to be off cooldown in a matter of seconds. Noblesse is going to drop the future Brio. Hamtaro, as you see on the backline. Zhengha not going down. Horrify completely whiffing there thanks to the beautiful hook of L5's Noblesse.
They save it. They've so far saved it. Final grenade. Nail in the coffin.
Oh man, but that was a great moment for L5. Again, just because they don't necessarily have a instant moment to force a heavy advantage. If they didn't end up getting that keep, the circumstances they find themselves in is Red Canids doesn't have enough for a turn-in, but neither does L5, and they're both on the 16 talent tier. We know that L5, it's not that they can't team fight with their composition, but Red Canids needs to be successful in this game. So Boss was really the only major win condition unless they postured up for a siege in some way, shape, or form. So that window, capturing that early was very, very effective, and I think we'll see that really be an easy manipulation tool in just a couple of minutes here over Red Canids if they don't get a miracle fight in about, I would say, they got about a 2-minute window.
Removing the gems was crucial.
Yes.
Losing that many gems was the difference between Red Canids immediately having enough to try to push back lanes, clean up the base, and then go and try to get a turn in. And now they still have, they're getting close enough to that, so they're going to start trying to drop those gems off whenever they find openings. But L5 on the defense, now they just, all L5 want to do is never let the pressure let up on Red Canids. It's
absolutely crucial. If Red Canids want to be successful in this next fight, the Era needs to be efficient with his cooldowns.
Yeah.
We've seen the Divine Shield coming out early. Divine Shielding yourself with Uther is never optimal, but it's not always a bad choice. But how early it was, you know, you want to do it absolute last second. You want to make sure you get as much utility out of your passive as you can. You are rounding the part of the game where dying is questionably worth it. But we'll find out. It's going to be the turn-in.
will help with that a little bit.
It very much will.
Here we go. Typhex trying to zone off. So is Hamtaro. Entomb's been dropped down on 2. Jay Shrita just jumps out on top of Jungha, using him as an escape mechanism. The banner is down. Taunt coming in. Letho to follow up. Noblesse solo.
That's a 4-man Horrify. They barely moved anywhere because they were stuck into the root. Now Uther silence. He goes down. He has the heals here for Typhex. But as we see up on top, Hamtaro in full retreat. Jungha, he dodges the drain. Hope he actually makes it out of here. Uther is the only one that goes down along with Li Ming. Somehow Red Canids holds on, but it still does not look good, Gilly.
Red Canids hold on, but just for a little bit because Jay Shrita hit by the hook. They trade out 1-for-1 in that. Stitches went down too, but now things are going downhill and fast for Red Canids. They lose Hamtaro as well, and L5. Maybe difficult moments for Red Canids against them finally finding their stride in this game. 14 minutes in.
Yeah, 14 minutes in, and it's going to be a second keep falling. They do have enough coins for a turn-in immediately after this. They are close. The minute they clump into that choke trying to punish Noblesse, I mean, it was just, I don't think I've seen a better Horrify this entire tournament.
Horrify with the roots, too, so it's not like they completely scattered. They're able to get kills from that.
And you could argue, a lot of people would be like, well, you're stacking the CCs, but not letting them move.
Right.
It's literally a void prison where they can die.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's insane.
I am, and it was.
It was, and now Typhex goes ring around the rosy. SCSC just got top decked and wrecked.
That was awesome! Follow-up Twilight Dream, at least from L5, stopped from the rest of deaths, but there's no SCSC, which means there's no Odin and no Bless!
I cannot be contained is what I feel like Typhex just screams as he fights back here to L5. The keep is ticking away. The Web Weavers on top and bottom still very, very healthy. That won't do too much damage to the core, at least not in this point in time, especially with Hamtaro being able to retreat. It's the top keep I'm worried about. It's so much damage.
It's going to go down. It does go down.
And atop, let's see where he ends up at here. He seems like about the 75, 50, anywhere in between there. And now the boss is up, 20 is here. The problem is there's 15 seconds for SCSE to come back to life. And Web Weavers are available for Red Canids. So what I see happening here, L5 just baits the boss, forces the fight into the 20, and Red Canids can opt to give it up. But if they end up giving it up, they're risking possibly ending up losing the game here. So they're in a tough spot. I would argue that they don't have to commit to this, even if they commit to a boss or anything like. It's not necessarily that Red Canids has to force this fight, but I very much do think that emotions here at this tense of a moment will get in the way, and they will respond if L5 postures any win condition.
L5's checking out to see where they can find a pick from a hook while Red Canids defend and stay out on the map to get 20. They are trying so hard to end this game before Red Canids can catch up to Storm Talents.
So what does Red Canids do? The most important thing here is you would like to try and find a way to get a turn-in. But again, we always know when the minions are pushing against you so much vision, and only that side gate that we're hovering right now is the only avenue to kind of go out without giving up your positioning. So pushing out the mid-wave is going to benefit Vision the most. Hamtaro getting cut out will hurt them the most. And now the beautiful Entomb, he got the adaptation, the passive pop. Jungha gets taunted and he goes down.
He's down so far. Nachogen's pretty low too. Jay Shrita goes in, gets the reset. Gul'dan's out of here. That's 2 kills for Red Canids. They have 20 and they're feeling good.
They are feeling good because they are looking for more. SCSE on full retreat. Hamtaro gets a burrow, gets dragged and just pinned against the wall. He actually denied the helping hand. Noblesse was going to save it, but he just dragged him right out, saying that's going to be my kill. This is going to be my boss. But the pressure onto the core, Gilly. They have to remember that they're going to all in, and everybody on the side of Red Canids here on boss. Jungha in the ghost form, he's revealing them.
Hamtaro is back. Swoy and Noblesse on the core. Hamtaro trying to stop the pressure from the minions.
They can't.
Boss?
They don't have enough damage at all. Swoy can just die.
It's Swoy and Noblesse.
The most important thing for him is to kill the minions. He's worried about them tanking the core, and as long as that happens, he knows that is not going to be a big play. Now, Jay Shrita gets the kill on a Jungha, but again, it's a Leoric. They've got a window, but I think, Gilly, Red Canids, They have 100 gems. They've got the boss on top. They found themselves 20. Top is their win condition. But can they deal with the pressure? Because I don't know if you watched yesterday's games, but this looks a lot like Game 1. Team Dignitas versus L5. They
Sure
get the win,
did.
and suddenly, how do they lock in the game? L5 needs to hold their composure.
There's a pretty good burrow spot right here next to Red Canids too, so they can keep Dahaka in the base for a long time. Taunt is there.
Cleanse.
Fleeming follow-up. J-Shrita there too. Hardened Shield keeping Noblesse alive.
Miracles were made, the hook, and that is going to land after the Fear. Jay Shrita disengages. Fiora ends up getting the heal. The Web Weaver is lining up right behind here. What can Red Canids do?
There's another taunt ready, and Divine Shield is now ready too.
Odin.
SCSC's dropping the Odin. The keep is
They're
not
so
quite
low.
down.
Look
and
at
the
their
Web
health.
Weaver's getting sieged.
Everybody on the side of Red Canids is so low
It's
that
Gul'dan.
It's just bodying them, ripping through the HP bars, and the rest of the Web Weavers are useless. There's a drag.
Drag 2. Typhus is there for the taunt too. He's low. He's used his parry. Has to
Oh
use
my
his Divine
dream.
Shield, but the Twilight Dream.
Lethos ends up getting hooked, and he's the last man standing, though Uther may find himself long for this world. As he comes back, that looks like L5. My goodness. How did they end up winning that fight? The poke coming out from Gul'dan was just ludicrous.
Poke late game with Gul'dan damage against Uther. It came down again to an Uther trying to keep everyone healthy, but there was a lot of dive trying to go in. You know, you've got Dahaka, Hamtaro, you've got Greymane too, and then even Typex taking damage. But it was an admirable fight for Red Canids, but in the end, L5 were able to maintain their composure and take them out to win the series 2-0.
You gotta have respect for the mentality of Red Canids and L5 after this series. I feel like, though you wouldn't normally go in and be like, man, going up against Red Canids,